Well, cheer up, people. It's Gaudete Sunday. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but it's Latin for rejoice. Excellent. Sing aloud, daughter Zion. As Paul says, rejoice always. Again, I say rejoice. And we may say, why? Why should I rejoice, Paul? Just because you say so? I mean, don't get me wrong, we have many things to be thankful for. I'm not saying bah humbug, but rejoice always. It's kind of over the top, isn't it? Rejoice always. Maybe it's something we need to work at, to practice rejoicing. Imagine that, to work at rejoicing. Where's the joy in that? Seriously though, we rejoice in something, right? We rejoice because of something. So what's the tipping point where the blessings pile up so much that we say, I rejoice? I thought I was doing okay. Now I rejoice. And can I expect it to last? It's hard to trust joy, isn't it? Especially once you've had some joy snatched away from you. We've all had some joy snatched away from us. Maybe after some time, with a little hindsight, we might rejoice in that loss. Say, oh, what a world of difference it made. Yeah, maybe. But here we're talking about joy like it's a mood, a feeling that's dependent on circumstances. What is joy? What is joy? My wife says joy is what makes you dance. Isn't that nice? Joy is what makes you dance. It's what drives the motion. It's what hears the music. Joy is what makes you dance. Or maybe not makes so much as allows. What frees us to dance. And what is it that keeps us from dancing? I love that our friend Don Clement, a member of this family, spends half the year in Africa. And whenever he gets back from Africa, the first thing he always says is, boy, you guys are stiff. You're going to get up and move around a bit. What is it that keeps us from dancing? William Blake, wise old William Blake, suggests that dam braces, bless relaxes. Dam braces. To curse is a contraction, right? To curse, to complain a lot, is a contraction, a tightening. Dam braces. If you bind the sins of any, Jesus said, they are bound. If you release them, To dance is to always be falling. Dancing is always falling, and as long as you stay in motion, you don't fall. As long as you keep dancing. In particle physics, isn't there some particle they say only exists when it's in motion, and if it stops moving, it ceases to exist? Interesting. If I could bring up William Blake again. He says, he who bends to himself a joy, does the winged life destroy. But he who kisses a joy as it flies, lives in eternity's sunrise. Kiss a joy as it flies. You can almost feel the whirling of the dervish in that, kissing joys as they fly. Dervishes, by the way, are Sufis. It's a branch of Islam. And they whirl and dance and whirl to be joined with God. Because joy is the dance, right? Joy is a verb, not a thing. Just as God is verb, not thing. Paul says that we should rejoice even in suffering. And we may understandably say, Paul is nuts. Who wants to rejoice in suffering? What's the good in that? And if I may invoke William Blake just one more time. Listen, Blake was a guy who died broke, unknown, and singing. He might know something about joy. Blake says that excess of sorrow laughs. It's true, isn't it? And excess of joy weeps. So maybe those two extremes meet, become the same thing. I heard on the radio recently a reporter talking to a guy who was in one of those devastating wildfires in California recently. And he lost everything but his life. And barely got out with his life. And he's telling the story to the reporter, and the reporter said something like, "Oh, you must be just devastated." And he said, "I'm excited." The reporter said, "Excited?" He said, "Yeah, storage units are full of unresolved decisions. I feel liberated." Not a fate I would wish on anyone, myself included, okay? But maybe joy is a security that goes way beyond a locked storage unit. Maybe joy can't be generated, can't be made, not by us. And maybe we can't quench it either. Paul says, "In all things offer up your prayers and supplications with thanksgiving, knowing that they are heard." So here's a prayer for you. Here's a prayer that Jesus himself prays for you, that your joy may be complete. Pray that your joy may be complete. And don't pray it with longing. Pray it with joy. Thanks be to God. Amen.